Hi, everyone, and welcome back to the AI InterConnect podcast. I'm your host, Lauren. Every week, I sit down with founders, CEO, investors, and innovators who are building companies with technology at their core. My goal is simple to understand how they are solving real problem, business problem, how they are navigating change, and what the rest of us can learn from their experience and journey. Today, I'm joined by Rajkamal Montbatton, co-founder and CEO of Autovent and the parent company Jian Technology. Autovent help retailer manage e-commerce, point of sale, inventory, warehouse operation, and back office processes through one verified commerce platform. Rajkamal, thank you for being here. Very happy to have you on the show.
Lauren, thank you very much being me on this suit. It's my pleasure to be here in this evening. It's a very pleasant evening. It's very nice, and let's go. And very excited to have this call with you.
Very good. I can't wait. We're running a couple of companies. Then there's the parent company, Giant Technology, and Autovent. I'm going to ask you and start with Autovent, but we can do things and explain also what the other company does. During our first conversation, one thing immediately stood out to me. You describe yourself as a product technologist before anything else. And I always find that interesting because product first founders often see problem very differently than sales first founders. Rajkamal, can you take us back to the beginning of your journey and tell us what eventually led you to build Autovent and Jian Technology?
Okay. Yes, I have been there with the technology space for more than 22 years now. So last 2 decades, I'm building enterprise software. And I've been there part of multiple Fortune 100 companies, building softwares, ERP, the complex technology solutions in the e-commerce space, enterprise, and others. And I've been also working with the multiple companies of multiple sizes. It could be enterprises, it can be small and medium enterprises. What I had seen the enterprise companies, especially the corporates, the bigger ones, have access to sophisticated technology because we all know it's bigger and there are a lot of people who is working on the money, time. So they have a sophisticated technology in terms of connecting multiple systems. But the small and medium enterprises do not have the flexibility. They all still have disconnected systems across multiple different processes what they have, be it online processes, be it offline processes, and other warehouse management, others, all are disconnected systems. So that is where O2When was born. That if you see the name O2When, we have two O's there. O2, it means online and offline vending. So that is online and offline. I thought to bring these technology advantages to the small and medium businesses as well. That is why I had been started building O2 Vendor, which is a unified commerce which has all the systems which are connected, which are built in the same system. So we have the advantage of technology even to the smaller players compared to the enterprise. So that's where it is. Yeah.
One
Hope that
thing
answers your
I
question.
Yeah, I love it. And one thing I noticed while researching Autovan is that you don't simply describe yourself as another e-commerce platform. You talk much more about unify e-commerce and bringing disconnected system together, as you mentioned. And I think many business owners hear those terms but don't necessarily understand the difference. When when someone outside retail tech asks what Autovan actually does, how do you explain the problem you're solving and who's benefit the most?
Yes. We are talking more about the retailers over here. So let's say if a retailer want a disconnect a system, or a retailer wants a system which runs the entire business of his. So the choice, the benefit, whatever the retailer somebody is going to get out of a unified commerce platform like O2N is, will be known by each of these individuals by themselves, because they have the problem. The real problem is of the disconnected systems. I would also want to add few more things over here. Every retailer do not want another software platform. They want a software, they want a system who runs their entire business across all these different ways of businesses they are doing in. And the software, I would say today in the AI time frame, it should not be a software which is just a bookkeeping or just a recording the transactions. Rather, the software should make decisions itself, because now we could clearly say the retail systems before the AI era and right now whatever the AI and the technologies which are developed, it is also benefiting the retail technology. So I would say when a retailer sees this, it is simply not a single platform which solves one of the problem or one of the aspect of the business. The O2Vent is designed to have full spectrum of his businesses and the processes into a single software platform. Additionally, with the AI capabilities, it is going to provide the much more decision making, aspects into the software. That is why I would say, yeah, retailer can simply know that O2Win is a native retail software which runs their whole business in much more automated way.
Okay, very interesting. Which customers usually receive the biggest return after moving to a unified platform?
The retailers, if more the people who are there in both online and offline domains. So today's businesses is not something like a retailer does his business only in the offline space, only in the shop and others. Today's businesses, with the advent of internet and other things, people are really searching the products everywhere. They go to Amazon, they go to, in India, if you see Flipkart is there, and Walmart is there. There's online stores. Then you have the social media and other things. So today's retailers are just not going to be having their full pie of 100% of their business only from a offline store. They have to move on to other platforms as well, online platforms, their own e-commerce, marketplaces, selling from WhatsApp, selling from some other various other sales channels. They can go to event and then they do the sale. They can just go through Instagram shop and then sell their products. So it is more or like today's retailers has to have take all these sales channels, what we call, to get the 100% pie of the sales what they have. If they are going to miss out any of these pieces, definitely it is going to be 70% of their pie. It's going to come from offline stores, probably, or in B2B, they may have some few percentages. So the retailers who are doing a full spectrum of sales across multiple channels definitely will get benefited out of a software, unified software like us.
Okay.
And I would say today a retailer cannot just survive without the online presence. So that is where we are
Yes,
helping.
definitely. I agree. One thing I hear repeatedly from SaaS funders is that building the product eventually becomes easier than building predictable growth. Then that brings me to my next topic. Every funder reaches a stage where the challenge changes. At first, it's building, after it's selling, after then it's hiring, scaling, and those challenges never completely disappear. Today, what feels like the biggest challenge in growing O2Vent?
Of course, he had mentioned one of the points there. Building technology is difficult. You know, I would add one more point over here. Building trust is more harder. The trust is going to bring us the business. Building technologies is always difficult, yes, but building a trust. by the employees, by all the stakeholders, by the customers, by the employees. I would say all the stakeholders have to have trust in the product. That is where the sales is going to come in. If you ask me, a customer is going to invest in us. They are going to put their data into our systems like us and going to start trust the data. Before that, they have to trust the product itself. So what I felt in my initial days is yes, definitely the product was difficult to build. We had built that. The trust has to come from the people who are using our products. So that had taken us some time. Definitely I would even say the trust for any of the product, not just us, is going to take time to build. And the founders are having very much, stake in it to build the trust for the customers. The very first customer who we got, it is like how he had trusted our product to even begin, and we had got one sale, then 1 to 10 sale, 10 to 100 sale. The numbers are going to these blogs are going to differentiate as how we do the marketing. The very first sale is always tougher, building the trust, and then we started to get the trust levels, and then we go on, keep going on. I believe when we do scaling, the trust is going to become a very crucial part for us because people have to trust our product that it is going to help them manage all their inventory, manage all their sales, manage all their money, data, everything, and without any kind of flaws in it. And then that gives the trust, and then we also, as an employee, as a product owner, we get the trust that yes, it can be employed in various other fields. So this is the one when we go into a path where today we are right now at the growth scale. We are just going to take off. This trust is going to be a very crucial component for us to scale to a much higher levels. That's what I think. It is the trust which we have built, that our customers are trusting us, and then we also have trust in our product, which is going to have us more scaling in the upcoming years together.
Yeah, many SaaS founders tell me that today's challenge is not building a software anymore. I mean, it is a little bit, but it's building trust before prospects are even ready to buy. Do you see this happening in your market as well?
Yes, that's what I mentioned. That people has to trust us before even they say, yes, I can use my software. I can ask my staff to put in my data inside it. They have to trust the processes. They have to trust the people who they are having in. So it is not the product alone. It is the people they will be looking at. It is the support we have to give to them. They purchase our software. Without the support, they will not be able to survive over there. So as a SaaS founder, I would say it is a complete package. I would still say 60 or 50% of product, and the other things will be there, like customer support is crucial, onboarding support is very crucial. So these are the ones which are also going to define how the customer is going to keep on trusting us. Initially, we need the build the trust to get the initial sale, but again, customer has to trust us completely because as a SaaS, we have to get these money month on month. The churn is very much costly for us, right? So yes, it is not only the Western markets or Eastern markets, even in India and other markets. I think trust is the very much basic fundamental thing where we can do the sales.
Yeah, definitely. And I met you repeat, I'm sorry, but trust is very important. Something you say during our pre-call really stayed with me. You mentioned that AI is helping elevate productivity much faster than most people expected. I think that's exactly where the conversation around AI becomes practical. From your perspective, how is AI genuinely changing retail today beyond all the headlines?
Yeah. AI is a real big, I would say, any technology. for the sake it has both advantages and disadvantages. Of course, AI also has the same. There are advantages, there are disadvantages. Also, let us talk about the advantages, what it has, and how it is helping the humanity as such. I would start. AI is helping in every field together. It is just not restricting to field like medicine, a field like photography, field like legal and otherwise. It is helping, or it is making changes, dramatic changes in all the technologies. Retail is no exception. Retail has own advantages when using AI. If you ask me, today we are doing the programming, the product and everything. We are using multiple AI tools today, and then we are increasing our productivity. If you ask retail very specifically how retailers are getting beneficial, retailers store management. Let's say there is a store management processes. The stores, very specifically online stores or marketplaces, how does we display the product? What products to be displayed? How do you personalize these products? How do I make the products purchasable by an agent? So these are something which is newer opportunities for the retailers to go and sell more over there from the storefront side. From the productivity per se, I see opportunities. I also have, in our software, we run multiple agents to increase the productivity of these retailers. I can, go on say the list. It could be a auto reorder agent for replenishments automatically, where people can, don't need any kind of employee engagement to get the stock and then order based on the suppliers, the lead time, or negotiate with respect to the price what is given by the suppliers. Agents are doing everything. Then you take the stock optimization agent. How my warehouses need to be displayed. Have the stock. Am I having optimal stock? Am I not having optimal stock? Earlier days before AI, we had people running out of these reports with multiple Excels or with multiple reports, even in the computer. But today, AI agents are doing this. Stock optimizations, or where do you put your stock? When do you purchase your stocks? Then if you come to the other agent of AIs, such we can go on, keep on repeating what benefits and what productivity retailers are getting by using these multiple AI tools. These tools are built based on the building of these tools also very easy today nowadays. You can just create one agent based on what exact the business process, what a particular retailer is having. It no need to be a global. It can be still a particular retailer. What process today they are doing in manually, that can be easily done by a artificial intelligent agents. So that way, rather than employees or somebody staying late night and doing the report for hours, the reports are getting almost immediately. So the productivity is getting increased. I believe the productivity improvements are not just going to be today. When you see after a year, after 2 years, I think this is going to be 10x or 20x out of what we are today. I believe retailers are going to be fully autonomous, and I would not say the employees are going to get affected by the AI and the technologies. Rather, the focus is going to be much more turned because the operations, the warehouses are going to get autonomous based on these agents. So the retailers are going to concentrate mostly on the customer experience. How do I move? How do I make my customers a very good experience, an exceptional experience? So that way, the efforts, whatever the retailers are going to spend in the operations or getting the data accuracy, everything is going to get translated into customer support, the customer experience improvements. So the productivity, whatever is done, it's going to be spent in multiple other different things which AI cannot do, improving customer experience. Of course, AI can also do the improving customer experience by personally suggesting what products the particular customer can buy. But still, as a human in the loop, there will be discussions with the human to human touch and otherwise. So it is going to be exactly retailers are going to spend those efforts which are saved by this AI agent into these newer areas, which is going to be, I would say next 2 to 3 years, you will see enormous user experience improvements either in the store front or the way how businesses are communicating to the customers, the way how they follow up with their WhatsApp, the communications, and how do they treat after sales support. These things are the ones which is going to be improved in the next few years.
I love it. Thank you. This is great. Rajkamal, when you look ahead over the next 12 to 18 months, what does success realistically look like for your company?
Okay. Yes, very specifically to O2N, the product what we are currently marketing and selling, I would say we are right now in the growth space where we are acquiring customers across the globe. It's not only we have presence, very good presence in India, and we have very good presence outside India also. We have customers from Moldova, Spanish speaking regions also we have, and we have customers in Central American regions. The success for us, for me especially as the leader of this company, is going to be how we are going to have GTM outside India. Right now, we are working on those GTMs who are outside India, especially in the North American market and Europe. I would say success doesn't mean we are going to reach some these many $1 million ARR. I would say we have to see how much is the, yes, of course, sales is also one of them. We have targets to sales and otherwise for the next 3 years. We will definitely reach them and we will be going beyond. But as the company, how I would say, what I would define this as a success after 18 months is how we are adapting our offerings on introducing AI in whatever way it is going to be possible, beneficial to the businesses. Today, we had started doing that by having our own agents running these processes which are inside the systems, auto replenishment agent, let it be, or a blog creation agent, or a simple product enhancement agents for e-commerce, enhance the image creation agents. So our objective in doing all these things is like how do we take the retail technology going beyond what the retail is today. So the platform should support the need of the next generations of these processes what we are today. It could be automatically detecting various other frauds in the retail environment, or it could be how the each of these businesses is going to enable themselves across the agentic or the autonomous buying agents when it comes in, or the next set of buying agent and selling agent talking to each other. So I would say from the technology per se, the evaluation of our systems into wherever possible, bringing in the AI, not just to increase the productivity, just see how that particular processes can be fine tuned to the next level. That is what. So the product has to evolve after 18 months. I would say it could be fully AI, which can automatically run your store once you just onboard. The software should run starting from your procurement, your the onboarding and the inventory part, inwarding, outwarding, the quality checks, or putting into the shelves and placing the products in the right shelf so that the offline storefront will get properly supported. And then coming to the online storefronts, how does that product should look like? What is the price point of the products? So all these are going to go with kind of like a autonomous decisions which are made in the software. So my goal at my success level, I would say the software should evolve much more into the AI. We are we are into the AI, but I have a goal that we have to have a much more pro- uh, autonomous product which makes the retail into the autopilot kind of a thing, and then the revenue goals are still there, and which I believe it's going to be we are going to be reached. So success is that our product has to mature more in the AI part what we have started today, and then the revenue definitely it is going to follow.
Wonderful. Awesome. Are there partnership you are actively looking to build?
Yes, of course. We have multiple different ways of how, if you take the sales alone, we have, sales-led growth, product-led growth, PLGs, SLGs, and also we have different channels for sales. Let us take a influencer-based sales, and or if you ask me, channel partners we have across the globe. We are partnering with various organizations. We are also partnering with OEMs. Let's say we have a POS software, and then we are also looking at the hardware manufacturers of the point of sale, where we have we had done for a few of them, where we club these to deploy within their solution. So partnerships are very much key to scaler. And also we have partnerships with few kiosk manufacturers where the software runs in the kiosk. So, be it the OEM or just the referral partners, or we are also working with various different channel partners where they can distribute our software, onboarding support people, implementation partners. So, yes, partnership is our, I would say, very bigger piece of our revenue comes from the channel partnerships alone. And we have plans to improve them across the globe. Yes.
Very interesting. Every funder collects lessons that cannot be found in books. Some come from success, many come from failure. And I mean, one other reason people enjoy these podcasts is because founders tend to be very honest about what's actually happened behind the scene. That's over. That's often more valuable than hearing another success story. Based on everything you have learned building O2Van, what advice will you give founders who are building B2B SaaS company today?
Yes. Very first thing I would say is build a great product. The product should not have any flaws. That's very much important because, when you go and talk to any B2B persons, naturally, it is not a real B2C. You cannot sell that immediately within a day or so. But still, what happens is you'll have a definitely different sales cycles. Because based on the scale, if the customer, the prospect who you're approaching, if they are small, you can go and close the deal in a couple of weeks, or it could take from somewhere around 3 months to 6 months also sometimes. The product should be very much mature and it should not have flaws. And whatever, as a founder, you go and talk to pitch to the customers is very much important. Just how you talk to the fundraising team or the investors or your employees. So talk in the same language. Don't give false commitments. Just don't say that, okay, I can do this just because I'm going to get a deal. Below the line, it is going to be your team who is going to suffer later, and it could be also a deal breaker at sometimes. Yes. And then, certain, as a B2B founder, you have to be B2B SaaS founder. You have to be very clear on how your sales is going to be happening. Need to know what are the processes in it. Whom do you want to look at? How do you get a meeting? How do you get the meeting, first of all? And then how do you get a demo booked up? And later, when it comes to after the demo, how do you follow up and then close the deal? It could take multiple levels based on the size of the organization whom you're dealing with. And what we have normally seen is during our initial days, we used to say no to few of the leads just because we know that we are not going to be good fit, or we may not be able to give the requirement what they are simply asking for. The money is going to be big, but we know that we have certain limitation in the product. So we do not want to say to them saying that, okay, we can do a lot of things for you. So be honest in terms of what product can achieve. That is point number one, which I had learned. And I've been even telling my sales team today, don't give false promises to the customers. Always say what can be done. Talk to the team before you even go into the deal. So that is one. And at times, what happens is even we go with all the processes. We take 3 months to go and start onboarding. We finalize the deal. At sometimes we had seen failures in various levels over here in the funnel. I would say every organization has that, failures because people drop off in your marketing funnel. Be it there after the demo, they just don't show up or they won't take it in the once. I always ask, I always put myself and always ask my team to be consistent in the approaches. Though customer didn't take, always follow the process. What we had set it down. Say three calls, do the three calls and one call and then the next call and the next call. In marketing and sales, I would say consistency does matter a lot. So just because somebody didn't pick up today, don't just leave them or in out of your pipeline after that day or so. Just complete that. So that is something which I had seen. When you follow that as a discipline, you are going to see the results. Not now or maybe a 3 months. Just do that processes. So that is number two from my side. Get the product done. Without the product, do not go and pitch to your customers, and always do the consistent have a consistent sales and marketing practices. There could be failure one day, but definitely you will see a success in the month itself. That is what I had seen. I had seen months where we did not had any business, but I had seen also months where we are very much overwhelmed by the onboarding. Our onboarding stuff may be very busy at some months because we are closing that much deals. And as a founder, your mental things will always come into play, right? A month without a customer, we had seen that in our initial days, that will be very tiresome. You'll think that, okay, am I not building the right product? My product is fit for the did I got the PMF right? Or there will be lot of questions. You'll think, and at sometimes you may never get a sleep also, good sleep also. So that those things do happen. But I think as a founder, if you start believing, yes, next month I'm going to hit the double of these things and act upon it, be consistent, it is going to yield the results. So that's the one I had learned in this particular venture.
I love it. I love it. Great advice. Thank you so much. Rajkamal, thank you. I mean, so much for joining me today. I really enjoyed the conversation. I think our audience gain a much clearer understanding of what is unified commerce and what it means and how AI is transforming retail. You make it happen. Thank you so much for your time, and we definitely keep the conversation going.
Definitely, I'm willing to. Yes, I think it is a great conversation talking to you. The questions were really good, and I it you just taken out whatever we had it in mind. I see. I get one more question to you. Probably, I will be the host, and I'll ask a question probably for a couple of minutes. I know you have been interacting with multiple technologies, be it fintech, prop tech, and otherwise, not just the retail tech. How do you feel AI is there in those areas? I see there's a great impact there in the retail tech. How do you see that in the other technologies?
I mean, there is so much happening. All this technology and all these different niches fit perfectly in the context of this podcast. And I feel very happy to have all these great founders and CEO telling their story in prop tech, in fintech, in retail tech, and we as we go for your insight, we I want to know about your story, and on the other niche, I want to know about this other founder story, and the audience just take it from there and have different views and we make it very easy and compelling, and hopefully this show will bring many users and many viewers, and I'm asking you now, where can people reach you, read about your company, both of them, and be in contact with you?
Yeah, just search for O2 Vent and then you will get the details. We are very active on social media, LinkedIn, and we do a lot of blogging about the newer AI related technologies, what we are getting introduced in the retail. So we are very active on social media, and I believe I had also put down my numbers over there in our website. In the earlier days, still it is there, and because a lot of people call me over there and the number. Just connect with me in LinkedIn, and then we can just get the conversation going. And hopefully,
Wonderful.
if you can also share numbers in case of any of the interesting people.
Definitely. And thank you again for sharing your experience, your journey, and your vision with us. Thank you, Rajkamal.
Thank you, Lauren. It's my pleasure again to be there in the show. Thank you.
And and that's it for today's episode of AI Interconnect. If you enjoy it, share it with someone who's building the future, or better yet, someone who should be. And until next time, stay curious, stay creative, and keep building. Thank you. See you.